And welcome everybody, we are back here for another episode of Better Call Saul. We're going to discuss a little bit of the new episode, but also a little bit about episode 3, because guess what? Last week when we were recording like 1.5 hours of the tragedy that happened in episode 3, the old Troy here, yours truly, forgot to export the file in Audacity because I had a little bit too much whiskey. And so, well, fuck, man. I will not be recording in Audacity anymore. I will just be recording in OBS, because there it's one click and you have saved the file. But,
in other words, OBS is drunk proof.
Oh, yeah. OBS is drunk proof, which is good. Big shout out to that. But I actually have Patrick's side of the conversation, which, I don't know, maybe we can upload that sometime. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, like, we can just, like, mention, like, some of the key spots there that we saw a glimmer of Kim and Jimmy's master plan of taking down Howard. Which is put brilliantly into action in episode 4 with Jimmy or Saul Goodman in a Howard costume and an enormous, almost uncomfortable amount of tanning cream in his face. To make it
that's Howard. In this episode in Hit and Run. In episode 4.
I'm just tying it together to the board that we saw, because there we saw costume, right, and the car and paint. I don't know, like, what the dealio with the paint was. I think.
Well, you mean you mean the tan or?
No, because it said like on the board, it said the costume, car, and paint. But I don't know, like, what they were, like, planning on doing.
Oh, right. Paint. Oh, yeah. You mean in episode 3, the board where they have all those sticky notes about their grandmaster plan. Right.
And then we saw that play out in episode 4 with the costume and car.
A part of it, and a lot of people on the Discord server agree too that this hit and run charade that Jimmy was running, the scam, a little bit more than a scam that he was running with Wendy, a good Breaking Bad cameo there. That is just a little, one small fraction, one small part of Jimmy and Kim's master plan.
Like, I think, like, I got the gist of, like, what the plan or grand plan is, because they are planning on, like, putting down as much bumps as possible to kill Howard's reputation. And now there was, like, no doubt in Cliff's mind that Howard is a prick who is tossing prostitutes out in the middle of the street of the car.
Yeah.
And then, like, they're probably going to tie this in with a drug habit and prostitution, and eventually they are going to report Hamlin to the I don't know precisely what you called it in America, but something like the Board of Ethics for Lawyers. State Board of Ethics for Lawyers. And they have the authority to pull Howard's law license or license to practice law from the New Mexico bar.
Yeah, or even the bar themselves could do that.
So
if they are presented with these facts.
that a lawyer is not acting ethical and doing all this shit, right? Because that would
But it was also the point that was made on the forums. There was also that just the incident with Wendy alone, it would probably not be enough to get him disbarred or worse.
No, that's why they're planting like these small things. Also the baking powder looking like dope coming out of his locker, right? And then starting the rumor that Howard is a coke addict. But yeah, you're right. Like so far it is small things, right? It would have to be bigger for him to get disbarred.
Yeah.
Because right now that would like equal, like a lawyer smoking weed, which in some states might be like a minor offense, but it wouldn't be a felony. I mean, it would be like a misdemeanor at the worst, and then.
Although in all states except is it Nevada, the prostitution is illegal. So buying sex will be illegal in all. But is it a felony though?
No, I don't think it's a felony. I think it's a misdemeanor, but.
Yeah. So that would just be a slap on the wrist if that was it. So we will definitely see more of that. So that's nice.
Yeah, it's part of like a bigger image that they're like building up around Howard, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like assuming that they will go harder at it, because like for right now it isn't enough. Like, but maybe they are attempting to get Cliff to break off the partnership with Howard, or Hamlin McGill, and then I don't know, like if Cliff also starts spreading the word around his circles in New Mexico, and it was also implied that Cliff has some major pull with the heavyweights in New Mexico, right? And if he starts, like going around to them saying that, like, oh man, I don't know, like I just broke off my partnership with Hamlin McGill because the owner of the firm has a coke problem and addicted to prostitutes, right? That would be like a major crush to the Hamlin McGill law firm.
Yeah, of course.
Because people wouldn't choose them to represent them.
Yeah.
And then we also have the thing that you mentioned in a prior episode, I believe, that Howard is in major debt to cover Hamlin HHM expenses.
Yeah, in order to still pay down Chuck's share because he bought them out.
Yeah.
Which actually ironically will just land at Rebecca.
Yeah. So it might be that we are getting to see a scene with her too, right? Where Saul or Kim is advising her to take out the cash before the company goes bankrupt, which would pressure Howard even further if she were to come and say, no, I want all that money out right now.
Yeah. And we got space for that now because and I have to reiterate this again, but that's fine because we can't be talking enough about the last episode's tragedy, episode 3, Nacho's spoiler alert, Nacho's death, which of course now leaves a huge vacuum in the rest of the story because obviously, as we spoke about in the episode that never aired because I forgot to record it, as we spoke about there, we would have expected there to be so much story with Nacho, but that's all gone now. Now we will be seeing a lot more other storylines.
Yeah, but
so there will be space
for. It makes kind of like sense because we do have like a lot to go through in the Saul Goodman storyline.
Yeah, definitely.
And considering that this is the last season, then they're kind of like pressed for time on that.
But I just want to actually bring up some interesting point that I heard on the Insider podcast of the Better Call Saul Insider podcast, which is actually also with Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould themselves. Go check that out. That's actually really good too. And they had Michael Mando on for the last episode, where he was talking about that Nacho is actually a romantic character, and I thought that was kind of an interesting take on it. But I could see the point in it, in that he self-sacrifices for his dad and actually sees that as noble. In order, because he can see that he's in a rock and a hard place, as the title suggests, for episode 3, and so he doesn't know where to go anyway. So he like the last thing he can do to redeem himself is to sacrifice himself for his father, and look at Gus, and see, you can also see that at the end there, when he looks at him and actually gives him that look. You are going to take care of you're not going to shoot my father now. So I found that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's get back to the episode a little bit. I did like that we kind of like, now we know
episode
why
4.
Episode 4, why Saul Goodman is so despised by his peers in the law community in Breaking Bad.
I found that was one of my favorite scenes. Might actually be my favorite scene of the whole episode.
Yeah, you can get back to the quote after. I just have to finish. Because now he has kind of established his bona fides as a cartel lawyer, right? Which is what jumpstarts his career as Saul Goodman, because then it's like, oh shit, you're the guy that got that mass murdering cartel psychopath killer out of jail? Damn!
Yeah.
Right? So then every scumbag in Albuquerque would want to have Saul Goodman as their lawyer, where we also get the cameo or introduction of Spooge, who looks magnificently better than what he looked like in Breaking Bad. Where meth had gotten a total hold of Spooge, and living in a beat down house.
That just occurred to me as I heard the name being said, because when you mentioned it, I believe last time, and said that was a character in Breaking Bad, I was still a little bit unsure. But then when I heard the name Spooge, I knew that I'd heard that somewhere before, and it actually is the guy.
Yeah. Except that in Breaking Bad, he had wiry hair and wearing a wife beater. Not even real clothes, and living in a shithole.
But that actually ties very well together with what Chuck is saying already very early on. Not early on, but in the end of episode of season 3, when he says to Jimmy that you do this, Jimmy. You hurt people, and that's true. That's what Jimmy. That's what Jimmy, and more so Saul Goodman, does. He hurts people all around him.
Yeah, and mainly for himself, so he can get some money.
Yeah,
which exactly. So he's getting all these scumbags to pay him, and that's it. He don't care what they do. Except
when it comes to Walter, though. But that's because Walter is an even bigger prick, so that's kind of prick on prick.
Yeah. I don't know. So yeah, man, I did a confirmation on that, because in Breaking Bad, everybody seems so fucking cold towards Saul Goodman, right? where
Yeah.
even Hank is like throwing his hands up and being like, "Oh man, it's that guy," when he comes in with that fucking orange suit to represent Jesse. And yeah, damn. So yeah, man, like that's a major take, and like you said there, when Ben said one thing is proving, another thing is knowing.
Oh yeah. Like,
regarding him being a cartel lawyer.
Yeah, now you're going one step too far. No, that is Bill who is saying this profound quote in my favorite scene of this episode, where we have, and I might as well go through the whole thing now, because we have Jimmy is entering the courthouse after this is right after they've done the scam on Howard. And well, first thing that happens is he's getting checked out by security, which is like, apparently it's a new thing for him, or is it a new thing though, that he has to get rid of his keys and wallets and cell phones and all that.
Yeah, for him, like it has always been there, you know. But it's like
because it seems like he has never tried to be held back like that.
And that is because everybody knows now, like the talk is in the courthouse that he's a cartel lawyer getting Lalo Salamanca out of prison, or walking the streets. Which just adds to his image of being a dirty lawyer.
Yeah. So, that's true.
So
but also okay, I see, and that's but then we go along, but what's even more interesting in this scene is that, and I got this feeling as well, that the whole scene of him going through the courthouse and then eventually meeting Bill is shot in a very, I don't know if it's a dark light, but like if you notice, the colors are very kind of dark blue, almost kind of depressing to look at, reflecting Jimmy's state of mind, that this is how he sees the world as, well, fuck man, everybody is against me. And that's what that's what I felt like as well when I watched the scene, because we have like these dark colors all the way around him.
That's right.
And then it culminates when he stands face to face with Bill, and then Bill at the very end there shoots, and he, of course, Bill is also he doesn't respect Saul anymore. Jimmy is now dead. His old buddy Jimmy is dead, so he doesn't respect Saul.
I like what you said there about that he is feeling like everybody is against him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't understand the fucking wrong in what he did. Because because that doesn't matter to him, because like to Saul Goodman, the end justifies the means.
Yeah. As Chuck also says. And I mean, like, from this we can also conclude what Howard said in season 5. To Kim, who really knew Jimmy? Chuck, because Chuck is really the only one who truly knows his brother, and he's probably the only one who could have saved him, but he chooses not to, because he doesn't want to admit that whatever Jimmy does is making him feel worse. And that's to do with the superiority complex of Chuck and Jimmy. I'm not going to go into that, because then this is going to take 5 hours.
Man, I hate to say that, like, when we saw Chuck and everything, like, I fucking hated him. But the more we see of like what Jimmy or Saul Goodman is doing now, the more we can also see that Chuck was fucking right. He was right to keep Jimmy as the mailman or mail delivery guy in the company, even after he had graduated as a lawyer.
And it is shocking how right Chuck's predictions were. A chimp with a machine gun. That is exactly Saul Goodman. I mean, I guess it's not that surprising because we can see it in Breaking Bad, but that is where he is heading now.
Yeah,
a chimp with a machine gun.
Exactly, like being like a toxic, and we can just like break this down with like Spooch, the character, right? Looking like a stand-up guy in Better Call Saul, total meth addict and life ruined in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And all this apparently changes after he meets Saul Goodman, because if it wasn't for Saul, Spooch would like possibly like whatever it is that Spooch is seeing him for, he would have gone to prison for it, right? But with the help of and gotten clean, or even like found another life path from that. But for meeting Saul Goodman, he stays out of prison. He stays on the wrong path he's in, because Saul doesn't judge. He doesn't care what Spooch is doing as long as he can pay.
Or Spooch would even have been like a drug dealer that actually is doing quite okay, but because he meets Jimmy, who's gonna become even more greedy and we know this because of the beginning of season 6, Jimmy's gonna become even more greedy. Then eventually that's going to be bad news for everyone.
What was his cut in Breaking Bad? 20%?
17. I believe it was
17%.
Yeah.
So, which means that like eventually, he stops taking retainers from the criminals he represents. He just says like 17% from everything you earn. So he basically becomes the fucking mafia.
No, I think that's just for his business associates, which he must have a lot of still, because.
Oh man, but okay, that explains how we could afford that huge ass mansion and gold-plated toilet.
Yeah.
If he is taking 70%
and Greek shit on his walls. But no, I wanted to get back to real quickly before I forget it, to the last quote that Bill is throwing into Saul's face right at the end of this depressing sequence, this blue shady light sequence in the courthouse, when Bill just throws back into his face. It starts with Jimmy asking him, can you prove it, Bill? And then Bill comes back with, it's not about proving, or it's not always about proving, it's about knowing. Because Bill knows, just like many of the others in the courthouse, knows that Jimmy has done this, even though they can't prove it. And this is also a theme that goes way above, like beyond the rest of this episode and the rest of the show, which can also be transferred to the Salamancas, because the Salamancas, guess what? They also know that Gus is involved in a grudge against Hector. They don't have to prove anything. Lalo doesn't have to prove anything. He has to prove it to the rest of the cartel, but he doesn't have to convince himself that Gus is guilty, because he already knows that.
That's true.
And Hector knows it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get back to some of the scenes in the episode. We have Kim making out that she is being followed after dropping off Wendy.
Yeah. And who is that following? Oh my god, I fucking enjoyed that scene as well.
I saw that like from the one of the trailer breakdowns. That I saw that when I saw that, I thought like, fuck man, he's right. That is fucking Gus's henchman following Kim.
And I actually discovered that. I told Mathis, my buddy, when we were watching it, that looks like that dude from the warehouse where they held Werner and the guys, and I was right. That was that henchman.
So yeah, man, like they have that going on. And then the legendary fucking sit down with Mike.
Yeah, fuck man. First time that we see those two side by side, and even better, Mike saying, Kim asking, why are you telling me this? And then Mike saying, because I consider you to be better material than Jimmy.
No. He says I consider you being made of sterner stuff.
Yeah, but potato, but still, like, wow, what a statement! Holy shit! Man.
I liked even more the rest that follows in that conversation as Mike's leaving. She's saying, "Hey, I know you. You used to work in the courthouse parking booth." Right?
Yeah, wow. Yeah.
And Mike just answers like two legendary words saying, I was. And leaving. You know, like just fucking emphasizing that he's big shot now, right? He's a big shot now.
Wow.
That was like one legendary scene. Goddamn.
Wouldn't surprise me if we actually see these two meet each other again at some point.
Yeah.
Because not because of the Lalo is dead. Lalo isn't dead whole thing. Which, fuck man, respect to Ray Seahorn. She is fucking playing this character so fucking well throughout this season.
This is another thing that some of you viewers might not know, but Rhea Seahorn, that's her name, right?
Yeah, Ray Seahorn. Yeah.
It is she or her that has actually directed this episode. The first episode of Better Call Saul she's ever directed. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No!
Yes, it is. So
I gotta check that right now. I gotta
because they all get a chance to direct an episode.
Wow.
Bob Odenkirk has definitely also directed some episodes.
Yeah, I knew that, and I know that Giancarlo Esposito is going to direct episode 6.
Yeah. So, man,
wow, yeah, shit, man.
I thought it was a very well directed episode.
Yeah, me too. Fuck, man. Especially with so that must be her who had the idea. Then I'm just inferring because she directed it to have that sign that Jimmy is planting in front of Howard's car that says patients only, and then have that sign tip over at the end.
Yeah.
Like some fucking comedic comedy. I fucking laughed my ass off when I saw that.
that it tipped over just as he's like pulling away from the parking lot. Yeah.
No, as Howard is pulling away.
Yeah.
That was genius. No.
One thing I didn't get that in the beginning of the episode. Was it the house across the street, or was it the house laying next door to Gus that they are in?
The red house.
Yeah, is it the red house?
The tomato red. I think it is. Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yep.
No,
we don't
wait.
see them biking. We don't see them biking into that.
Oh,
the
right.
house.
That's true. That's true. No, that's true. Yeah, they keep on biking after that. So yeah, it is Gus's house that they enter. Yeah, but I liked the beginning. It's mysterious as always. You never really know if it's your first time watching it. You never know where the fuck you are in the beginning of a Better Call Saul episode. But that's and then you're eased into the action. You don't know who the fuck these guys are, but then you actually then you get a big surprise, big golden nice surprise when you figure out, wow, these characters are actually involved in some of the characters that we know's lives.
Some breakdown from this scene, not the biking scene, but like the other one, where Gustavo enters his house. It's like, for one, he has a closet filled up with yellow Los Pollos Hermanos shirts, identical suits.
Wow, slow down, man. Yeah, I mean, I wanna actually I was thinking of you when I watched this entire scene with Gus entering his house. So I want to hear your take on this entire scene where he walks down through the major security infrastructure of his house.
Let me get to it so I can watch it while we talk about it. Where is it?
Yeah, I believe it starts at 35 when he actually enters his house and empties his mailbox. And you remember we discussed this in one of the teaser episodes.
Yeah, we did.
But this was in the teaser, and we discussed that after he goes in here, then we thought that he was going to meet Nacho, but of course we know that's not possible anymore.
No, it is not his house that they're biking into, because Gustavo's house don't have a garage.
But then it's one adjacent to. But we've talked
it's one of the adjacent houses.
He has multiple houses, so that's just confirmed.
we did.
But yeah,
so he walks in, and then immediately can drop his mask and like toss away the shit, because he's semi pissed that he don't have control over the situation with Lalo. Turning on the news, listening to some bullshit financial news, looking around, and then he starts taking off his clothes, and
with
here, like he has
music
so
in the background.
I like that he like about this, right? He has a bunch of like Los Pollos Hermanos shirts, and he has bulletproof vest on. But here's the thing, man. Like, here's the thing.
Considering the dangers of the situation he's in right now.
Yeah. And there we also see his tank watch. I haven't gotten confirmed what kind of like watch he is wearing. But here's the thing. That he takes off the Los Pollos Hermanos shirt, right? Because now he's home. And I would have thought, shit, if I'm home, I would drop to some more, like casual, comfy clothes, like a t-shirt and a shorts or sweatpants, right?
Yeah.
But Gustavo, no. I take on a different pair of shoes, and a different shirt.
And an ankle holster as well. With
a gun. First time, by the way, we ever see Gustavo carrying a gun.
Yeah. But that could just be a testament to the circumstances he's in, because the circumstances with the cartel have reached its peak height now.
Yeah, but yeah, he changes the shirt to another shirt, which is a darker color. I don't know if that's black or dark green. Yeah, And I think it is dark green, like the same that he was same type that he was wearing.
But what I wanted to ask you, like the main question, were you surprised by the sheer volume of technological security and rooms that he has in and under his house?
No. I
no, me neither. Me neither. I was not surprised at all.
I was like thinking that it is not a Gustavo house unless it has some kind of like fucking secret bunker, panic room, or tunnel.
Fuck, man. And it's even bigger than Saul's. Because Saul is just he's just all about the facade and about showing off his exterior things, like, so he has expensive things in his house and on the outside. But Gustavo is all about hiding his wealth, and that's what we see now in his bunker.
Yeah.
Because he actually has like fucking a kitchen and fucking a bedroom underneath his house, like in this bunker. He's actually decorated.
It's crazy. Like, I do like that. Like it's so much detail here, because like in his house there's almost nothing, right? But he comes into there, then it's semi messy. There's a bunch of board games. There's a small kitchen in the basement.
But that's because this is all hidden. Like, Gustavo is a man who hides his wealth.
Yeah. Oh, I actually think that this house is on the other side of the street.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna take that back. Like, of course, like his underground, his underground security rooms aren't decorated still stylefully, but he does have significantly. A significant amount of furniture down there compared to Saul, for instance, who only had that small, who only had that extra small panic room.
Yeah.
If you recall.
Yeah, I recall like an extremely small panic room, but that is because Saul Goodman values luxury and comfortable.
And Gus values security.
Yeah. Man, I'm like looking at the first scene again to see where their house is like laying as to Gustavo's.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. It seems like it's too short of a tunnel to be like across the street, so it has to be adjacent.
And then of course it ends with Jimmy and Kim, or Saul and Kim, actually looking into, for the very first time in this show, his strip mall office, which has again testament to Ray Seahorn's directing ability here. A toilet right in the middle. Fucking epic, man. I mean, what did you think of that?
A toilet in the middle of it.
Of his strip mall law office. That's the only thing that you see when you see the office for the first time from inside out. There's just a toilet standing there right in the middle of the office.
Well, like, what the fuck has this even been used for?
Yeah, but it's like It's just such a genius fucking concept, because I mean, what could it symbolize? It could symbolize that, yeah, he's just buying the first dump that he can find, because he now managed to piss off Mrs. Nguyen, or whatever the fuck her name is, with all those people in the lobby. So now she has actually, what do you call it when you throw a tenant out on the street?
Eviction.
Yeah, she's now evicted Jimmy. So now he has to find the first dump that he can find, and that's just a fucking law office, strip mall law office with a toilet in it. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I love that it's her who directed the episode.
Oh man, yeah.
Let me put it in a different way. I now see that she has epic directing abilities because of this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, man. So all in all, a good episode.
Definitely, and so aptly named, Hit and Run.
Yeah.
Did you notice that all the episodes have "and" in them?
No, I haven't noticed that.
Wine and Roses, Carrot and Stick. What was the third one? Rock and a Hard Place, Hit and Run, and the next one. Guess what the next one is called?
What's the next one called?
Black and Blue. Does that remind you of a Breaking Bad episode?
Yeah, man.
Which one?
It does. I'm not that into like what every episode was about.
Okay. If I say it in Spanish, Negro y Azul.
All right. Wasn't that like the episode with Jesse?
Which means
climbing out
wait,
of the window.
I actually don't remember, but wait.
Negro Azul means black and blue.
Yeah, it does mean black and blue. I for a second I was like in doubt whether E means and, but it does. So yeah, but I mean, I could infer that from when I saw the title of the next week's episode, which was Black and Blue. I was immediately going to wait. I've heard that in Spanish somewhere before. Because Negro is black and Azul is blue, then E must be and. So, wow, what a fucking reference to that. And I wonder if we're going to... What?
That could also signal that we're going to see Jesse Pinkman and possibly Walter White in the next episode.
Oh, yeah, because Negro y Azul was... the episode where
Jesse Pinkman was introduced.
That was with Jane, where Jane dies, I believe. No. Where Mike is. No, that's after. No, wait, what? That's so long time ago.
What the fuck, man? I thought that episode that you're talking about is the episode where he was introduced.
No, Mike isn't introduced before the end of season 2 in Breaking Bad.
No, but I'm talking about like Jesse Pinkman.
Oh well, that's in the pilot.
It's the 7th episode of the the 7th episode of the 2nd season.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh right,
it's called
Negro
in El Paso.
Right, it's called Negro y Azul because isn't that when they colored the meth blue? No, they do that way sooner. Fuck, man, you gotta rewatch it again at some point.
Anyways, that's all I had for that episode. I don't know. You have anything you wanna add?
For Negro y Azul?
No, for this entire podcast episode.
No, not other than the next episode is going to be titled Black and Blue. So stay tuned for that. We will be here commentating on that next week, and then of course I'm already sitting here seeing all the. We might as well update them on what episode 6 will be called. Axe and Grind, directed by Giancarlo Esposito, and episode 7, Plan and Execution. Ho-ho!
Yeah.
Guess what that will be? That's the season. That's the mid-season finale, and then we'll have to wait for the remaining 6 episodes, which will air on July 11th.
Really?
And so
what
forth.
The fuck? I would have thought that they would have aired every episode consistently after COVID and.
Apparently not. They're
stuff.
apparently going to milk this freaking thing to the very end until it's what do you call it, over in English. What do you call? Until the udder is squeezed empty.
No.
Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of a Better Call Saul analysis of Hit and Run, aptly named, directed by Ray Seahorn, and we both of us enjoyed it very much. And stay tuned for the next week's analysis episode of Black and Blue.
Yep. Sub and good night, guys.
And sub.